welcome to Nathan, but the truth. Oh, you guys, uh, this one is interesting, to say the least. America has no enemies. Let me say that again. America has no enemies. Okay? There's over 24 military installations all along China's borders. Okay? And China ain't trying to destroy America. They're not trying to bring America down. Iran is being attacked every day by Israel, IDF. Okay? Israeli Defense Forces being attacked. And the United States got so many warships and planes and stuff, and they tell Iran, you better not fight back. You better not retaliate. Bullying everybody, okay? Throughout the world. But none of them want to see the United States fall. Iran I've always associated them with wanting to be at the table, sort of like the boule in the U.S. They want to be comfortable in global white supremacy. Saudi Arabia is already there. They're inside the house, okay? They work with global white supremacy. They don't want to see it fall. They're not enemies to the United States. Yemen, Syria, they're not enemies of the United States. And you say, well, yes, they are, blah, blah. No, United States just bully them. But trust me, if the United States had an enemy, they would recognize the United States' number one enemy and stand with them, such as Russia. They're not enemy to the United States. They don't see the United States as their enemy. If they did, first thing they'd do would come over here in the United States and sit down and talk to my black ass and say, well, what can we do to help you? Okay? Because you're not a citizen of the United States. You're not respected as a citizen of the United States. You don't have any rights. You are terrorized daily. You live in complete terror. Every time a black man leaves the house, he's afraid that he'll be shot and killed by a policeman, especially if them lights shine behind his car. He don't know if he's gonna die that moment or not. Okay? That's terrorism. That's living in terror, living in fear. They don't recognize that. If they recognize that, they would be there trying to find out what they could do to help you, because I recognize who I am. Okay? Back in, I think it was 2009, I was in Falls Lake, there in North Carolina. And I was fishing off of this little like makeshift pier area, and a group of Americans came and joined me fishing, and we were talking, and I went and showed them, or let them listen to, a recording I had that was of Osama bin Laden. And I wanted them to interpret it for me, because I had had it interpreted once before. And I wanted to verify that, yes, he did say what I think he said. And he was talking about bringing down the West. And the way to bring down the West was through economics, because of their made-up currency. And they verified, yes, this is what he's saying. I said, well, why in the world would he be so adamant about bringing down the West and he not come over here and talk to us brothers, okay? because nobody's happier than us to see this horrible country fall. And the one looked at me and said, because he's just as racist towards you as these white people are. He hates blacks as much as the white people do. And I said, you got to be kidding. And it rolled me back to when Japan Prime Minister back in the 80s, he sat up and made disparaging comments about blacks in America, bringing down the educational system in the U.S. The reason that American test scores don't rise to the occasion is Japan's test score in the school system. And Jesse Jackson, I never forget, made that man apologize. And I said, well, why would you make him apologize? This is what he sees. This is what he essentially knows about us. See, the white mainstream media has us a scourge of the world, hated by everybody, despised, okay? Give you an example. In Thailand, they have a custom there. They honor their head. Nothing worn below the waist could ever be placed on your head. That would be sacrilegious to them. That's horrible. That means you are the lowest of low. It's kind of like walking around smearing yourself with a bunch of poo-poo and walking down the street and expecting people to acknowledge your presence. People will steer away from you and this and that. Well, what happens is African American males, passport bros, run to Thailand, and first thing they do is they put a stocking cap on their head. They cover their head with a stocking cap. They'll have their pants hanging down, okay, showing your buttocks. This is low to them. This is like the lowest of the low. And so because in America, the white establishment dresses blacks, we don't dress ourselves. We go by what's called trending, which is they take entertainers, rappers, they pay them a certain amount of money to dress a certain way to influence our young to dress like them. And that's all what it's about. That's what happened. Then you look at the other side, which is the female side. In every country in the globe, a woman's virtue is all she has. Okay? They hide virtue in every country, except the U.S., among the African American women. They have no virtue. It's been stripped of them. They're told that immorality is freedom. They equate morals with freedom. If you tell a black woman, hey, you need to dress properly, you need to do your hair different, you need to take off all some of this makeup, you need, oh, you trying to tell me what to do, I got freedom, I'm utilizing, exercising my freedom. And they'll say, and they'll have multiple sexual partners. So this is shown to the world through the entertainers, okay? You got these female entertainers. Do you know those female entertainers, there's only less than a dozen countries that they can actually perform in, and they're in Europe. They can't go to a lot of countries and perform because they are seen as the lowest of the low. They have no moral. Their moral clock is broken. And when you mention that to black women, they say, oh, you just hating, you just... No, this is the reality. The media takes you, reduces you down, takes you down to as low as you can go, and then shows you to the world, and you don't know what the world is actually seeing or what they're thinking because you don't know that the world has a moral construct. Other countries have high moral. They may be poor, but they have a high moral construct. And so when you are acting and you're putting on, thinking you're famous and you're making money and you're doing this, you are really representing a whole class, a whole demographics, a whole population of people that are being now scorned to the world. So no wonder these countries don't reach out. Now, I say that because a couple had. Ironically. It's so strange. And people didn't understand it. Uh, Kim Jong Un invited Dennis Rodman to Korea. And I say Korea because I will never separate Korea as North and South. He invited him to Korea and made a big show of it. What essentially that was, he do not know I exist. He do not know there's brothers like me that exist. But what he wanted to do was signal to us that he wants to talk. Okay? So he bring a fool there that can, because he knows that's a fool. He's known as a fool in America, a clown, a jester, but he's a black man. And so what Kim Jong-un was doing was saying, I am open to talk to you guys. Okay. And then it happened again. The one file, they went and had him go to Cuba. Cuba invited him. He went to Cuba. Now, this is a felon, I do believe, and he was allowed to travel to Cuba. Cuba allowed him to come in. See, countries determine whether or not you can come in according to your felonious records, okay? And they had him come, and his name's JC, and they made a big spectacle of it. He was there. Now, of course, he can't sit and talk politics with them. He can't talk intelligently with them. But they had him there, meeting at the heads of state, because what they wanted to signal was, Nathan, I want to talk to you. All right? You and your brothers, okay? We want to sit down and have a conversation because we got a problem and you got a problem and our problem is the same problem. That's what that was about. So don't think that fool went there because he felt the need to go. No, he was invited. He was tapped on the shoulder because they needed to signal to me and my brethren who are like me, like-minded, get your ass over here. We're ready to talk to you guys. Because they recognize that we live in a terrorist environment. And they don't think that all of us are that jackal or that fool that's paraded around by Western media. Okay? Because we're not. They know. And even now, with the political atmosphere ever increasing, it's scaring the shit out of them. The fact that black men are resisting the political process. They don't have good things to say about Miss Kamala, okay? Because they recognize that effort don't mean shit for them, okay? They ain't trying to address them in the least bit. And they know that Donald Trump ain't either, okay? So they're going to remove themselves from the political process. But the thing is, they need to hear from the top why they should do it, okay? And they need some camaraderie with them. And they're going to get it from me. Because I don't believe that we should ever be a part of their political process. We should let it crash and burn, baby. But not having true enemies is a benefit for America because, or at least their enemies don't recognize that they have an ally within the United States that is 80 million strong. Oh yeah, scary enough. I know the boule and the bourgeois want to tell you, oh, there's only 10%. They'll only say it to you. They say it to me, and they throw it up, and then I'll sit and look at them gurgle and choke all the bodily fluids that coming out of their body. Because for some bitch to sit up and tell a lie, an intentional lie, that we make up 10% of a population of 350 million people, when the white people themselves are saying you make up 30%. Others, including Latino, make up 20%. That swings us into a minority in the United States. This is what the whole immigration thing is all about. This is about their population. Them losing that 1%. Got to keep them above so they call themselves a majority. They're not a majority anymore. They're a minority in the United States because they gauge it by POC, people of color. And they know that your numbers are 30% of over 350 million people. It's well over 100 million people. And then when you separate into adulthood, okay, now you have about 80 million to 90 billion black folks, adults. And half of that are men. That's the world's largest fucking army. China can't even get an army that damn big. You guys are powerful. And a boule and a bourgeois, they do not want you to know that. They will sit up and tell you that lie. Oh, we ought to make a picture, but then I go, and they throat open up. Send them, take them out their misery. Because see, I don't want to hurt them. I mean, I know that's the quickest way to take them out. I got a 12-inch blade. I call it 9 souls because I stopped counting back in, back about 15, 20 years ago. So it's called 9 souls. And I don't have a problem opening their throat up because, see, I see them as an enemy. When you are going to set up and intentionally lie to Pookie and Ray Ray, you don't want Pookie and Ray Ray to know. See, Pookie and Ray Ray just don't know how powerful they are, but I'm going to tell them. Okay? And then you're going to find out if the United States really have some enemies because, see, once I sit up and get the brothers talking and going to these town hall meetings, who you think coming? Okay? Them brothers from across the waters. It's going to be like, oh, shit. It's going to make everybody nervous. Europe will collapse. One act of civil disobedience from black men in America. America falls, Europe collapses. One act of civil disobedience in America. See, America's holding a secret, They holding a goddamn time bomb. Now, they done got so excited with the killing and the murdering and the ostracizing, throwing you off airplanes, kicking you out of banks, beating your kids in school, killing your kids, harming them in all kind of ways, snatching them off the street. All that, they just having fun. They're in a frenzy. They're in a bloodlust. But when you step up and you start saying, put your foot down and say stop, the whole world gonna take notice. And them motherfuckers, they gonna try to back, but they can't backtrack. They done gone too far. It's sort of like you look at Israel, Palestine. Okay, they've been enslaved, those people, for 78 years. 78 years. They've been tormenting the Palestinians, killing them, murdering them. Can't turn back now. They can't. It's to the point where that they are going to collapse before Palestine. Trust me. They're killing and bloodlust and got them to the point, and they're just so excited about it. They love the fact that nobody can speak out against it. They'll be called anti-Semitic. But if you knew the definition of anti-Semitic, is when you have issues with Arabs as well. That's anti-Semitic. Look it up. So I don't play with their words. I don't give a shit. They can call me whatever they want. I'm going to tell the truth. You some bitches have seen your own end because of your bloodlust. You want to kill your way off existence. Yeah, here's something my grandmother said. She said, before that white man give this up, because this is so good to him, before he give it up, he's going to try to destroy the whole goddamn world. She said, but if this is truly God's earth, he won't be able to do it. But he's going to go on a killing spree. And that's what you're witnessing today. Okay? The policing in America is gearing up. They keep telling you, after the election, if Donald Trump don't win, we're going to war. Civil war. Who do you think they're going to be fighting? It ain't going to be white folks fighting white folk. There has to be an enemy. There's somebody they're coming after. They went after adults in 2020 by saying, you guys voted Biden in. It's your all's fault. They went after every city that voted him, that was responsible for voting him in, that gave him the over, which was those black votes. So what do you think they're gonna do again? Only this time they're going to start killing black folks because they can do it. The military is geared up to come in and take you out. Ain't no love for you. You gonna run around here and talk about, well, we gonna vote and keep Trump out of there. You know, don't be talking about Kamala. Trump is worse. You sound like two fools fighting over who gonna be the master of the plantation, because they had situations in the South. Those large plantations were owned by corporations, by conglomerates, and those people called themselves Jews. They owned most of those major plantations, and they hired a master to be overseer of that plantation. And sometimes they'd have two that they didn't know who to hire, and so they would leave it up to the slaves to choose who was going to run the plantation. Didn't know that. Look it up. Remember, the name of my podcast is Nathan But the Truth. I'm not lying to you. I'm telling you facts. You trying to pick your master. Why not just say, hey, fuck it. I'm going to remove myself from the whole situation. I'm not going to take care of you anymore, hold you up. I want you to fall. I can take care of myself. We can create our own government. Okay? And I keep telling y'all, give me those southern states. After all, I worked on them for hundreds and hundreds of years and didn't get paid, so that'll be my payday. I'm taking them. Sounds scary to say that shit, don't it? Think about it. Hey, we'll find out if America really has any enemies when we stand up. Okay? But for now, listen, I love you. I am Nathan Robinson, and I am back quiet.